Well, hello. Welcome to another edition of Auntie Karen Beyond the Cards. And today, after my most recent video that I did where I talked about how my channel came to be, I received quite a few comments in various places about how you guys were inspired. A lot of you guys read and that you wanted to grow your existing channels, or you were finally going to start your channels or that sort of thing. And I want to kind of give you a heads up of things that to expect when your channel grows, okay? A lot of these lessons I learned from Hard Knocks, despite receiving great advice from the mentors I mentioned in my video yesterday. Many of you know who those are, Tyler, Rich, and Rose. Of course, Rose I came across a good bit later, but at any rate, I went against several pieces of advice I received that I should have listened to, and I have learned to regret every single one of those decisions. So I think it's important for you guys to kind of have a heads up. I love doing what I do, but there are things just to be prepared for and to have in place ahead of time so that maybe you don't hit the same hard knocks that I did. And I'm still new, I'm still small, but I'm a lot bigger than I used to be. So I can talk to you about the growth from 0 to now 18,006 something subscribers, right? Okay. So you are going to be very visible from all types of people. There's a lot more visibility, okay? You are going to attract all kinds of attention, good and bad, if you are doing anything, that is, okay? There is a quote that is often attributed to Churchill. There's a lot of debate of whether he actually said this, but the quote, it's a good quote nonetheless, and I'm going to give it. It's, you have enemies? Well, good. That means you stood up for something sometime in your life. Everybody really thinks that that's loosely based on, or a lot of people feel like that's loosely based on Victor Hugo's the essay that he, in 1845, Villemain, or Chosen Views, Things Seen. And I will read this to you. This is really good sage advice. You have enemies? Well, why? It is the story of every man who has done a great deed or created a new idea. It is the cloud which thunders around everything that shines. Fame must have enemies, as light must have gnats. Do not bother yourself about it. Disdain. Keep your mind serene as you keep your life clear. Very good advice, and I think nothing could be further from the truth. You can be a windsock and just go with public opinion, or you can speak your truth and let the chips fall where they may. Certainly speak your truth with compassion and with love, right? But here's a news flash for you. Even if you go with public opinion or against, either way, you're going to receive, attention, positive and negative, okay? I think I could sit here in front of a video camera and say nothing at all. Okay, maybe just say, I love you, I love you, I love you. And I would somehow attract, 95% of the response would be good. And honestly, it is now. But, you're going to get people who are going to react in a negative way. And you kind of have to learn to take that in your stride, okay? If you take no stand, you're not going to get any attention. And you're not going to get growth, okay? You'll be considered boring. You won't stand, if you want to grow, you got to be different. And oftentimes that just involves stepping into authentically who you are. And, I now consider myself in front of you guys to be much more authentic as far as who I really am. Back a year and a half ago, I was really very subdued with, it wasn't that I was fake, but I just was almost shy to be myself, if you will. That's probably the best way to say it, okay? But understand this. The negative comments that I get, and it's not a lot, dislikes and trolls, those things used to bother me. But hear me out. I got to looking at it in a couple of different ways. First of all, it was triggering something that needed working on in me, some self-esteem issues. So that part was good. I mean, it was tough to deal with at the time, but it was ultimately for my better. betterment inside me. Okay, but hear me out. I used to delete those comments and stuff. Okay, but I don't do it anymore, and here's why. It helps me in the search algorithm. So when people type yucky stuff like "this doesn't resonate," "bye, I'm leaving forever," and your mama sucks eggs and all kind of shit, and you look old, and I don't care. I mean, I don't care what people think about the way I look. I like the way I look, and if they don't like it, that's not my problem. It has nothing to do with me, right? But it helps me in the search algorithm. But when people react negatively about a reading, it confirms that I'm doing something right. Right? Just like the Victor Hugo's thing said. It confirms that you're telling truth when you have that happen, because truth prompts triggers from unhealed pain. Okay? Truth prompts triggers which are from unhealed pain. Well, that's my target audience, is folks with unhealed pain. And I'm not saying I don't have unhealed pain either, but this is my passion, to help people see the need to heal those things. And triggers are one thing that the divine will use to get people's attention. So it affirms that I am reaching who I'm trying to reach. So ultimately, when I see those comments, it makes me know that what I'm doing is working. Now, I'm not about to sit here and advocate that I don't care, to treat people with ugliness or lack of compassion or anything of that nature. No, I care very much about people's feelings, okay? I'm never going to be that person to say, fuck your feelings, okay? No. But at the same time, I will do my best to be kind and to deliver a message from the tarot cards in as kind a way as I can. Now, once I've done that, my responsibility is done. How people take that is on them. Okay, so when people understand this, when people take their own time to respond, the one thing that when we give something the time, that's something we can never replace, to leave a nasty comment or dislike. So it's absolute confirmation that I have hit a targeted nerve, okay, that I've accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. And the same will be true for you when you grow. So understand this: the more you grow, the more attention you're going to attract, okay? You're going to have to take a stand to get the attention to grow. There's just too many tarot readers here otherwise, okay? So you're gonna have to step into your authentic self. And when you do that, I don't care what your stand is or how popular it is, and you are going to get a backlash. And so just be prepared for that, okay? And, when you start a channel, understand this, you start talking about things like healing and shadow work and things of that nature, it's going to trigger things within inside you that need to be healed. And that's good. That's by design. One of the things Rich told me was the focus always has to stay inside. And that's the only way that you can do this right. And I found that to be 100% true. Okay, so, understand this. And the trolls, okay, they're just bored people. Okay, they're just bored. They're not happy. They're broken people. They have nothing going on in their life, absolutely nothing. And it's really quite sad. Okay, it really, really is. When people, express hate, sometimes it's from envy, sometimes it's projection, sometimes, what you've said in a reading has triggered something. You also need to understand that the more you grow and the more attention you gain, you're going to have people who occasionally tell you how to do your job. Well, understand this. If you are growing and if 95% of your feedback is good, which is the case with me, then keep doing what you're doing and keep following your passion and keep doing what you're supposed to be doing in the way you're supposed to be doing it, okay? People will tell you you're reading the card's wrong. And I'm like this, okay, there's a bajillion tarot readers. Why are they telling me how to read cards? If they don't like me, they could just go on. But no, they're actually triggered, okay, because they take the time to try to correct me, okay? And so at any rate, people will tell you, speak slower, speak faster. I can't understand your southern drawl. Well, you know what? That's why there's, 149,999 other readers here. You don't have to worry about putting up with my southern drawl or my speech being too slow or too fast. And so, and if I am reading cards and I have to stop and rethink how I, use diction in my pronunciations, then I really can't focus on the cards, okay? And I can't do anybody any good. 95% of your viewers are on board with you. You're good. Just ignore that stuff. It's no big deal. That, you know, I get all kind of stuff like that, okay? If you're following your passion, keep going. Like I said, you read as you're led. Everybody reads differently. My homies that I love, that I talk about here all the time, that y'all heard me talk about in that last day or two, they read differently than me. Does that mean they're bad readers? No. Does that mean I'm a bad reader? No. No. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna show you an example. My bestie who taught me tarot told me this, and I think this is absolutely true. You know, different cards can prompt different meanings to different readers. Okay, so say that you got a personal reading from me and Rich Lop at the same exact time, same questions, same exact time. Now, we will likely pull different cards and get the same story. Why? Because different cards mean different things to us, but we'll deliver the right message. We'll deliver the same message. Yep, we will. That's the way that rolls. So you read cards as you're led. You tell the story that you get intuitively, and over time, you will understand more about how that intuition plays into the reading, okay? And we talked about that some. I talk about that a lot in my Tarot 101 class, so I'm not going to get into that a lot here. But the collective as a whole does need a lot of healing. There's still a lot of broken people out there. There are a lot of great people out there who are on board with the healing thing, but there's a lot of people that are just not woke. So, you know, my cards reflect that, okay? My target are the ones who need the healing, and those are the ones that are most likely to find me. And those are the ones who are most likely to be triggered by negative readings, and they often leave those comments reflecting this, and again confirms that I'm finding my target audience. One thing that you also need to be prepared for, you know, along my path, I've had gradual growth and I've had growth spurts where it would go like this, you know, and just get like that, okay? Every big growth spurt, whether it was with somebody sharing my videos or with my channel just taking off, which has actually happened recently, it will change the energy of readings for various signs. It's amazing how that happens. Every time there's a growth spurt, it's an onslaught of new folks. And what happens is the readings will go to shit. And then gradually over time, they'll get better. And then I'll have another growth spurt and the readings will go to shit. And I know what's happening is this. The growth spurt brings in a lot of unhealed folks, okay? And then, I mean, I'm talking collectively, okay? Just because you're brand new to me, I'm not necessarily saying this is you, but as a whole, okay? And so what happens is one of two things will happen. That new onslaught of people, some of them will jump on the healing board, and some of them will drop away and stop watching because they're triggered and they're not ready yet. So the readings will over time get better because the ones that are still with me are healing, and the ones that won't heal aren't watching me anymore, if that makes sense. So I found this is a repeating cycle, and it's just a result of a big bunch of new folks with new energy coming in, right? So if you focus your readings on healing and raising your vibration, again, expect to be triggered to work on your own shit. That is a given, okay? And looking back, it all makes total sense. I didn't really understand it at the time, but when I got on, you know, and I knew I had done a lot of healing when I started talking about this on my channel, but I didn't know how much more I had left. I knew I had more healing, and I still have healing left, and that's okay. But trust and believe, when you start becoming somebody who speaks publicly about the need to heal, the first thing that's going to happen is the universe is going to bring all that shit right to the surface and put it right in your face and say, oh, you want to talk about healing? You want to teach about healing? Let's show you what you still got to work on. And trust and believe, my healing went on rocket speed. So do expect that, okay? If you encourage folks to wake up and see the truth, expect to be bombarded with truth bombs. If you encourage people to cut out toxicity, you're going to start to see in your friendships and in your relationships and, you know, any kind of connections that you have, you're going to see the toxicity, and you are going to see people drop to the wayside. Okay, that's just the way that is. If you answer these calls from the universe and you raise your own vibration, you do the healing, expect the fall off of people that are not aligned with you to happen faster, and the new people coming in faster than it, you know, we talk about that, you know, when you raise your vibration, you know, people will fall off to the wayside for whatever reason, and the new people will come in. when you start a channel and you start teaching and talking about this stuff, those things are going to happen a lot more frequently and faster. It's like you just go and everything is happening a lot faster for me now than before, and that's fine. Okay, but just understand it takes a hell of a lot more energy work on the daily. Okay, you guys see 3, 4, 5 videos a day. What you don't see is hours of energy work, hours of study and research, and me doing personal readings and other personal services on top of what you do see. I start every day up about 5 a.m. between my energy work and everything else. My day starts out with meditation and study and that sort of thing. That's just how I like to start my day. It works out best. I decide and set my day in motion from a mental standpoint, what kind of day I'm going to have. Okay, all of that, I probably spend a good 2-3 hours just doing all that and then I plan out my day. And then I get myself ready, and and then I go. Okay, and so, that's just the start of my day. And my day on an early day, my day will end at 7 p.m. Okay, this is why I recently, not too long ago, I made it a point that I would go to see my horse once a week, regardless. Okay, and I have to do that. And many times I take the day completely off when I go see him. And I have no guilt about that. We all need a day off, okay? I still do my energy work, okay? And I still have personal readings I have to do, but at least I'll take it off my channel. Okay, so with that being said, it's very important to take care of yourself because you will run yourself ragged if you're not careful, and to pace yourself, okay? So, one other piece of advice that is if I can't tell you anything else that will help you, hear me out. I did not listen to this. One of the biggies told me early on, right after one of those biggies gave me a leg up, do not get to be close personal friends with other readers. Now, with that being said, I don't want to sit here and paint it out that people are competitive, which, okay, sometimes they are, but not always. But you will get drawn into their personal drama if you're not careful. And many times I think they subconsciously are trying to bait you into that drama. Okay, so just be very cautious of that. A lot of creators out there, when they see you growing fast, they will try to get your attention for exposure. Be careful who you promote. Be careful. People will share your videos. Watch their motives. Are they trying to help you? Or are they trying to get your attention so that you'll promote them back? I've had both of those things happen, okay? The people, let me tell you something. The people on here that have 100, 200, 300, 500,000 subscribers that I talked about that have given me legs up, we ain't talking about them. They don't need my help. Do I share their videos anyway? Yeah. Probably everybody that watches me already watches them anyway. So it's like, it's really just me just saying, thank you. I mean, and they know that, okay? I did that today. I shared from my big 3 that I love to death, okay? Because, and y'all probably all already watch them because I talk about them a lot. I would hope so. But they're on my community page. And really, that's nothing more than a thank you because I know I really can't help those channels. They're too big, but I support them in the ways that I can, at best I can. Not because I feel like I owe them, but just because it's the nice thing to do because they've helped me. They helped me not expecting anything in return. I mean, they know I could never repay them for the game-changing, life-changing things that they did to help me. But there are people out there who will absolutely do those things to get your attention. There are people who will email you and ask you and offer to do free readings for you in exchange for a shout out. Well, one thing I have learned, I used to try to help a lot of small channels. I really did. And it's not that that was wrong, but what I did is I shared a lot of folks before I really, really delved into what their content was about, what their abilities were about, what their beliefs and behaviors were about. So, because of that, I've now gotten, very, very cautious about who I will promote because that has bit me on the ass. I have promoted people and then those people have turned around and really embarrassed me with the things that they have done on their channel. And, I'm not going to publicly, bash them, because that's the wrong thing to do. But it's my mistake, and it bit me on the ass, and I learned. So, big piece of advice: watch who you promote, and watch who promotes you, and look at their motives. Maybe their motives are pure, maybe not. But just because somebody promotes you doesn't mean you're supposed to promote them back. Think long and hard before you do that, and make damn sure that you are, what they do and what they promote and what their teachings are on your channel are aligned with your beliefs, your passion, and your heart. And if they are, great. And if they're not, well, there you go. Okay. So, careful who your mods are. Okay. I've had to learn this the hard way too. I have had 2 mods that I came across over this period of time that were just deleting people for no reason. And I had to remove both of them. And then I've had, mods that, some of them had other channels, and in those other channels they acted like idiots, and I had to remove them because, this is the thing. If a mod has a channel and they're in your chat, people are going to assume, because they are in blue with a wrench, that you agree with them because they are a mod, with what they do and how they carry themselves. And so just understand that, okay? I am so blessed with my mod squad now. They seem to have a very good understanding of, and different creators have different expectations. And, I'm a mod in several chats, okay? They differ in how, what they want from a mod. You have to understand that too. And so you have to be clear and communicate to your mods what your expectations are as well, okay? And if they don't want to behave that way, hey, that's okay, nothing personal. They can still watch your chats. They just may not be mod material, and that's okay too, right? Now, a lot of people will give you advice. There is more free advice out there than you can ever imagine. Take the advice from the people who have the results. I say this all the time, and I mean it. Sit with the masters. The conversation is different, okay? If you want to learn to weave baskets, you better find somebody that can show you some beautiful baskets that they've weaved. If you want to learn to manifest money, you don't listen to the advice of someone who struggles from paycheck to paycheck, okay? You want somebody who has the results. If you want to manifest romance, that's who you follow. If you want to manifest peace and healing and happiness on the inside, that's who you follow, okay? So, watch who you take advice from, okay? That too. Now, I hate to give this energy or attention, but I would not be doing you justice because you're considering starting a channel if I did not bring this up. Stalkers are real. Even at age 57, covered in wrinkles, okay, my teeth not the best, I have stalkers. I have had them since early on. I have had some really, people will find you if they want to. They will find where you live, they will find out who you are, and da-da-da-da-da. It has happened to all of my homies that I just mentioned, okay? They've had them show up at their house. They've had them personally deliver gifts on their doorstep, okay? It is creepy, okay? Creepy. You need to be mindful of that. Be prepared to become very protective of your personal information and that of your loved ones and your friends and family. Be prepared for your social media for you to have to remove your last name, the city in which you live, remove the connection of your family and friends because you don't want them to have to do the same thing. So you don't want people to know, for example, my daughter is not even a Facebook friend now. She's not. I used to have her listed as my daughter on my Facebook, okay? I don't have my last name on there. I don't have her or her dad on my Facebook at all because I don't want people to be able to find her and I can't put her high school on there. I cannot put the city that I live in or like the facility where my dad is, any of those things. I'm very general when I talk about where I live, and you guys know that because, you have no idea the crazy emails, and I mentioned this on my community page. I get about 350, 400 emails a day. And if I spent 5 minutes on 350 emails a day, that's 30 hours. Well, there's only 24 hours in a day. You are going to have to learn to, and that's not even counting I did away with my Facebook Messenger. You cannot message me on Facebook Messenger. And I get messages on Instagram. I know, and I used to try to answer emails, but Rich told me, he said, you can't do this. You're going to kill yourself. And he was right. But even deleting the emails, it takes time. I don't have time to read them, folks. I just don't. And there is a reason that my email is not published. So do not do what I did. Don't start out and think when you have 20 subscribers that it is okay to say, email me, and give out your email address. Because trust and believe, it's going to come a time that if you grow, you are going to live to regret giving out your email address, okay? So really, the more that you can limit that, the better you are. I get emails from stalkers. I get crazy stuff, really crazy stuff. I get emails to me thinking that I'm a pipeline to Rich or to Tyler or, now to Rose, and it's from their stalkers. So it is just pretty insane. But I get my own stalkers too. Y'all, I've got some that are absolutely Springer worthy, but one that comes to mind, I have a mod, and she's still a mod. She is a fan-damn-tastic mod. To this day, she doesn't know this. She does not know this, what I'm about to tell. And that is this. I had somebody who emailed me that this mod of mine was trying to do them in. And I'm saying that in a way to keep from violating community standards on YouTube, okay? But it was very sinister. And I sat back and watched the whole thing. And over time, this particular individual that emailed me probably used 20 different email addresses and just sent these long emails of the things that my mod was supposedly doing. Now, my mod that I'm talking about has never given me any indication that she was anything other than stellar. Yet this person was over here sending me these crazy ass emails, and I don't really know the truth, whether my mod was really trying to bring harm to this person or not. I never saw any evidence of anything other than beautiful energy from this mod, and I've always seen this particular individual carry herself in my chat and in others with the utmost of positivity and kindness, and that is all I have to go on. And I am not going to delete a mod because I have a nut, okay, in my emails trashing them, and that was essentially what was going on. And finally, this person stopped emailing me after I just stopped answering, okay? So, I have another favorite story, and I forgot about this, but I wrote it down. There is one of the readers that is very large, who is very fit. Well, all of them are large homies that have the large. I don't mean large, but like their channels are large. They're all attractive in different ways, and they have people who are, attracted to them or whatever. Well, with that being said, fairly early on, when one of those readers came around and was promoting me or giving me my leg up from them, one of those readers, a person buddied up to me and was under the impression that that particular reader, well, y'all are probably going to know who I'm talking about because the other reader is involved in a relationship and very, very happy in that relationship. Okay, a romantic relationship. But this other person, thought that this reader who had given me the leg up was their twin flame. And they buddied up to me thinking that I was the pipeline to get to this reader. And they were trying, and turns out that this reader had to block this individual who had buddied up to me because this person had been such an annoyance to that reader, okay? In every way, this person is blocked from the big reader that I'm talking about. And I found all of this out, and, it finally came out, and I finally figured out that all that this person was even buddying up to me about was just to get to this person because they were obsessed with this huge reader that I'm talking about, that I have great respect for. And so I had to, of course, snip that, all right? And now that person is blocked in every way, from every way that possible to reach me. So just remember this. The people on YouTube, all you know is what you know on YouTube, and you like the way they conduct themselves in your chats. That's great, but just remember, you don't know these people. Use the billboard rule. Don't tell these people anything you wouldn't put out on a billboard. Okay, when you're promoted by big readers, again, expect to hear from their stalkers. Okay, you can bet on that. Okay, prepare for spiritual attacks. Some people use divine energy for malevolent purposes. Oh yes, you can use divine energy for malevolent purposes. Eventually, those actions will swallow you up. Okay, I know many stories of that happening. I can give you firsthand accounts of me seeing that happen with people. But in the meantime, you may get attempts for people to hit you. Will they work? Maybe, maybe not. It depends on how well you protect yourself. Okay, the most effective form of protection that I have found is to keep your vibration stellar. Stay on top of your energy work. That's the best protection against psychic attacks. Okay, keep your place cleansed, protect your energy, and stay on top of your energy work. Okay, there are other protection methods and cleansing methods. I'm not going to go into those here because I have other videos that talk about that. But divine energy does exist, and so does free will, and people have the ability to do both with divine energy. Okay, the consequences will come, but in the meantime, a lot of damage can be done. And if you think that you're exempt from that, you couldn't be further from the truth, unless you are staying on top of doing regular energy work. But if you're sitting on your couch and eating bonbons and watching, comedies all day long, you're probably not protected. And if you're assuming that you're protected, then you're probably not. Okay, don't get complacent about that. All right, if you cannot navigate energetic shifts, astrological shifts, if they leave you flat on the floor for days at the time, and okay, if you're not able to, that's fine, but just recognize that and know that you're probably also not protected from negative attacks from a magical standpoint. Okay, and you really need to get on top of your energy work so that you can protect yourself from those things before you become exposed publicly. Okay, there are a lot of people in the spiritual community who are malevolent, sadly. I don't, I'm very fortunate because I am surrounded by beautiful people. But have I been hit? Sure I have. Yes, I have. It just made me stronger. So I'm grateful. Did it require some work? Yeah, it did. Did it require me learning? Sure it did. Okay. When you deal with people, you have to care without caring how people take you. Okay, understand this. You have to care without caring. What I mean by that is this. Care enough to do your best to honor yourself so that you can feel like you had done everything you can to show love and compassion when you deliver messages. At that point, you can then rest easy knowing everything you could to be a kind person. So how people react to it is none of your business. So you cannot care about that. If you start to worry about how other people feel about you, then you'll start, you'll jeopardize your own energetic vibration, and it will affect you. So you have to keep that stuff in mind. I know this was a long video, but it was very important, I felt, to just give you some tips of things to expect when you have a channel that grows, right? It's growing pains. I couldn't be happier. All of the things that I talked about here, understand this. Were they tough to deal with? Did I learn from them? Oh yeah. Did I become way stronger as the learning occurred? You damn right I did. I wouldn't take anything for that knowledge, Sometimes, and my mother had a saying that really comes to mind. I mentioned at the beginning of this video. I learned a lot of this from the School of Hard Knocks, despite advice from other people that knew better than me, and I should have taken those people's advice that didn't. My mother used to have a saying that said, bought wit is the best kind. In other words, purchased lessons that you learn the hard way by paying skin, right? And having things bite you on the ass is the best kind, because that's the kind you won't forget. And so a lot of this stuff, I stumbled upon. A lot of it, I learned myself. A lot of it was just me going against the advice of people who knew better. And so understand this. There are growing pains. Those growing pains are literally that, growing pains. It is part of growth. It is part of the great stuff that comes about. But you know, not everybody's ready for those things. And if you're not, you're not. And that's okay. But just be prepared for that going in. So at any rate, I hope this has helped you guys. Many blessings to all of you. Time for me to get busy and pull some tarot cards on my other channel. Love you guys so much. Bye.